So you've got to try and create yourself and make yourself in such a position that you are indispensable. So you want someone to smile at you. Why don't you smile at someone first? You want someone to be kind to you. Why don't you be kind to someone first?
Way, because without family you're nothing. So family is everything. How can you be a blessing to someone else today? I do believe that would make this world a much better place.
Hello and welcome to Sisters Talk with Safin Smart. There is no denying the adverse effects the coronavirus pandemic is having on the global economy. Invariably, lockdown has translated into an unwelcome slowdown. Sadly, this has affected nearly every facet of business, from the big business to the markets to the street trader. Times are indeed hard. On our program today, we will be offering an insight into how various sectors of our business environments have been affected and how they are adapting to the changes brought by the current pandemic. If you haven't already subscribed, please take 1 second to just quickly click on that button. And at this point, I say, let the show begin.
There is no book that teaches any one of us how to live our lives, what to do, what's right and what's wrong. Yes, you have the Bible, you have the Quran, fine. But really, at the end of the day, as an individual, it's up to us. For me, I always say when I wake up, how can I be a blessing to someone today? And I think if we could all think on that, if we can all move with that on a daily basis, how can you be a blessing to someone else today? I do believe that would make this world a much better place.
COVID-19 came and changed businesses and the world at a devastating speed. When Nigeria went on lockdown, I told my team to go home and relax. Yes, we went home and relaxed for 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, I told them this is the time for us to come up with ideas on how to relaunch back into business. Everyone came up with different ideas and we started looking at those ideas. We started eliminating them one by one until all of us agreed on one particular idea that is going to really work effectively well for us. We weren't looking at long-term projections or plan any longer. We are looking at plans that could work effectively well for a month while we keep refining it as day passes by. Presently, I can't say we have an airtight idea or airtight plan. We've never been in such situation before, but we just want to look at way things unfold and we adjust our plan to suit the event of the week, event of the day, event of the month. We are no longer looking at making profits presently. We're just looking at keeping the business afloat while we monitor situation. So believe you me, as a business owner, I am not finding it easy, but I know we're still going to weather this storm.
I want to implore business owners to revolutionize the business and see how they can get their business engaged more on social media. There's a content and a customer base out there that you're not tapping. You're in your home, whatever services you can render, whether it's skilled laborer or whatever, or an entrepreneur, whatever services or goods that you can render, make sure that you don't stay quiet and calm. You need to make money in this. They say the Bible says when there's a casting down, we will say there's a lifting up. Situations and storms arises in life for you to reinvent yourself, for you to change the narrative. You cannot be silent at this point in time. Society still needs your services. Do not allow the world to leave you behind. Evolve with time. There's a time and chance happening to them, or this is a season in our time, in our life, that we're faced with the lockdown. We're faced with a lot of families entering into personal isolation. The government has placed us on lockdown. It's happening everywhere in the world. But some certain businesses are doing well. Businesses that have chosen to follow the trend. Some certain people have enjoyed the liberty of staying in the comfort of their home and engaging in business. Even after now, it's going to be a way of life. We have been in this environment getting to almost 2 months, those of us in Abuja, Lagos. So it shows that you need to join that conversation. You must be proactive. Many years ago, as a student, we had to buy time, go to the internet, cyber cafe to browse and get informations and data. Now, in the comfort of your home with your smartphone, you can Google any idea, you can visit any platform and get any information you need. In the comfort of your home, you can buy services and they'll be delivered goods and services from any place. You can demand the services of anybody. You can demand the goods from any vendor online. So take your businesses online.
The world has changed. The world has evolved, especially the world of business. One of the ways that you need to recognize this is that offices are empty. People are working online. They're all the platforms that have been created before to help people to co-work online are now being patronized more than ever. How can you cope with this situation? The first thing is you need to accept that this is the new economy. The digital world is now the new economy. You are now using payment portals, you are now using co-working spaces online, you are now using emails and Skype and FaceTime and Zoom and Webinar Jam and all that to conduct your business or pass across your message. So accept that this is the new reality. And two, you have to adapt. You have to adapt to the environment. You have to begin to rethink your processes and your systems and your structure to fit into the environment. That is what is most crucial. You have to accept and you have to adapt. There is no time to waste anymore. Just begin to think, this is how I was doing it post-COVID and pre-COVID. Now post-COVID, this is how I have to do it, because now it has to be more about delivery through other logistics companies or other channels. It has to be about enabling environments that have and atmospheres that have to encourage digital participation and technology. It has to be about thinking outside the box. You need to really break the box that you were in before if you're doing products or services, and begin to think of, how can I still deliver this thing while deploying technology, while doing it digitally, with minimal human interaction, with minimum human participation, but still have exactly the same effect. So you have to rethink your processes, you have to rethink what you've been doing before, and then the world will be easier and better for you.
I'll be speaking broadly on 3 areas. 1, you as the employer and business owner. 2, the customer. 3, money and cash flow management. I'll start first with you, the employer, and your employees. Now, it's of utmost importance that during this period, you maintain the highest level of safety and health. Now, that might mean you guys will have a meeting to discuss the various ways that which you can apply or implement certain safety protocols in your working environment. Also, you guys will need to discuss those who can work remotely from home or those who have to come into the office to work. Now, for those who have to come into the office to work, certain safety protocols have to be instituted or implemented in the workplace. So we're talking about investing in things like hand sanitizers, face masks, and then even social distancing, rearranging the workplace to reflect social distancing so that the workers are not in close proximity to each other. The global pandemic has affected everybody, including your customers. Their lifestyle, their expenses, their tastes, their wants, and every other thing has changed. So it's up to you as a business owner to find out, okay, what has changed about them and how do I appropriately meet the needs of these customers. Now, one way I suggest you do that is by speaking to them. Just be open and honest about them. We used to do XYZ for you. What has changed and how can we serve you better? By doing these things, you find out that you're able to maintain and sustain those relationships as well as deepen it with the ones that you already have. Also, this COVID-19 pandemic also presents a unique opportunity to some of us business owners. What do I mean? So there are some people who are not your customers before now. However, as a result of this pandemic, you find out that they might be your customers. So what am I talking about? So people within your neighborhood, especially those in the working environment, you find out that maybe before they'll go to work early and they'll come back late, so they don't even have time to notice your business, what you do. This is the perfect opportunity for you to reach out to them and say, oh, this is what I do, and how can we help you, and how can we do things for you? Now, also for some of the businesses that have been offline, and now, like particularly brick and mortar business, are now saying this is an opportunity for you to go online. Because a lot of people at home and they are using their phones, their laptops, and their tablets to browse. This is an opportunity for for you to express your business and show yourself out there?
I think the first thing we need to do is to enhance and adjust the already existing safety precautions to include the precautionary measures outlined by World Health Organization and other health institutions to be able to help us prevent the spread of the virus. This could include bringing in a wash station or practicing social distancing and other things that can help prevent the spread. The other thing I would say is to adapt new ways of working to avoid physical interaction with people, so you can engage your workers to work from home or work online, or even involve your work in delivery services, to prevent physical interaction with a lot of people at the moment. The other thing you can also do is to re-strategize your programs and services to solve a problem that the COVID-19 has brought about. This would help you still be in business, because if you don't do this, you'll be out of business. My organization used to do seminars in schools, train women on site, large numbers. Unfortunately, we couldn't do that again. So what we decided to do is to bring these women we've trained together to start making nose masks to be able to help solve the problem that COVID-19 has brought. Now everybody needs to wear a nose mask, but they cannot get them as easily, So for now, we are producing these nose masks, selling them at a very affordable price, and this is helping solve a problem.
One of the things that businesses need to do is to focus on the primary activities. Now, what do I mean by primary activities? If we have a business that's into sewing, focus on just sewing, and that's your primary activities. And it has a lot to do with production. Why? Because your primary activity can guarantee your cash flow, and then your cash flow can pay the salary of your staff. So what is the second thing that I consider very important that should be done? The second thing I consider very important for business people to do today is to do some layoff. Now, it might be hard, but it's also necessary that we keep only the staff that are contributing to the bottom line of the company, and that's profit making. After profit making, we can actually invite these other members of staff and then give them a job. But for now, we have to only absorb the ones who can contribute to the bottom line. And the third thing I think we need to do, this is the time to increase visibility. This is the time to continue corporate social responsibility. This is the time to invest in promotions and adverts.
So as an organization that focus on advocacy, and most of our beneficiaries are at the grassroots and disadvantaged community, the first thing we had to do was to adopt technology, starting to use virtual communication to reach our beneficiaries, even those of us that are working in the organization. We had to adopt the use of Zoom, the use of Microsoft Teams, even WhatsApp group, just to be able to reach ourselves virtually and immediately. Another thing we had to do was to create a very robust communication strategy with the use of social media. You cannot believe how social media has helped us to reach more of our beneficiaries and even increased our reach as an organization. The third thing we're doing is to rely on the structures that are already available in the public sector. We're relying on the state government, the local government, even the health facilities that are available.
The truth is, like it or not, you all have to find a way to adapt to what COVID-19 has done to our businesses. And the feasible way out is going digital, really. I'm a caterer, so first of all, the pandemic has affected my business in a way that we don't do events now because we're all observing social distancing. So events are out of the way, but it has not affected my daily sales of small chops as much. Do you understand? So we still do our daily sales. It has reduced in volume, but we are still marketing. So we are still, even throughout the lockdown, we were making sales. Thank God for that. I have just 2 permanent staff. So I had a meeting with my staff. I put them on shift. So if one person works this week, the other person is off. Then next week, the other person resumes, and this person that worked this week will be off. Do you understand? We are just trying to minimize the the rate at which we put ourselves in danger. Do you understand? Also, we are trying to be careful. I make sure, the reason why I'm doing this is also to help them cut costs. on transportation and all, and also not put them at the risk of having to share vehicle with people. Luckily, they stay close so they can easily use a bike. You don't have to have a website. You can make use of, or don't undermine social media. Social media is key right now. In fact, social media is king right now. So your Instagram page, your Twitter page, WhatsApp status is another thing people undermine a lot. Your WhatsApp status is amazing. It's powerful. So just use it. Utilize everything, and the sky is the beginning, really. It's not easy, but we'll definitely get over this.
It will be important that complementary businesses collaborate across the board. Collaboration would obviously help in the management of scarce resources. It would also be important for businesses to cut down on unnecessary spend. Obviously, jobs will be lost. But it will be important that there's an opening of the windows within the corporate spaces. More ideas have to be allowed from the ground level up, as opposed to having management take decisions. Because every innovative idea would have to be allowed, or at least at the very least, be considered, so that we can maximize the lean resources that we are going to have at our disposal. It would be important to factor in a review of policies by government to allow for greater play by local systems, local governments and state governments, as it were. That would mean a relaxation of certain extant policies that limit state governments or local governments from operating or maximizing their capacity.
So the first thing I would say is you need to do a review of your business. What should stay, what should go, and what should be added. This is not the time to become embarrassed or become ashamed because things are a certain way. This is something that is going on across the world, so it's not unique to you. So you need to see what is not working, and then you take it out, and then you need to see what are the things you need to add. So you should be willing to be flexible. You should be willing to diversify or pivot as is necessary. You should be willing to learn, because you might be in a situation where the new thing you want to do, you do not have sufficient knowledge about it, and maybe you do not have enough funds to employ someone to do the work for you. So be willing to learn, be open-minded. There are tons of resources in diverse forms that you can learn from. And then, of course, it's just important that as you put in the effort, you encourage yourself. Find a way to stay motivated, because maybe at the beginning, everything might not be exactly all perfect, but the goal is to keep doing. As you keep doing, you would get better.
Also begin to learn new skills. It gives you time, not to come out of this season. There's going to be a post-COVID-19 era, that you don't need to be lacking behind. Some people will lose out on business. Some people will lose out. Some people will be out of business completely, while some people will enrich themselves. So use this season to create more value for your life, for your business.
There's no doubt that small businesses are the hardest hit from the COVID-19 pandemic. The bigger businesses have more opportunities of surviving now. The small businesses, because of the kind of cash flow that comes in, are the worst hit this period. Okay, they are not just for the owners of the small businesses, but for the employees that these businesses support. Thankfully, by the grace of God, I found opportunities selling educational based courses during this period. It was really nice, especially that unemployment was on the rise, and so people are looking for new opportunities. So while I know it's never nice to capitalize on events as devastating as this, the COVID-19, I'm glad that it helped serve as a wake-up call for me to reconsider how I do business. It helped me to take a look on how I run my business, the models. I was able to survive the changes that came with COVID-19 because I digitized my products and services and started offering them online. So I was able to implement technology to balance the loss of earnings by offering new ways to connect with my customers. A lot of my customers this season were those in the educational sectors, including teachers and school owners. It was really a challenging task
helping them through moving their classes from the physical environment into the virtual one. But it was nice. It was a very good learning experience and learning curve for me and for those who joined my classes. We started with 25 teachers, and then it gradually grew to over 3,000 members.
It's very important that at this period, or during this period, you manage your money so that you spend as little as possible and conserve as much as you can. Now, you should not invest in long-term inventories. So inventories or things that will last or require you to use them in the next 1 year or more. While you should invest in things that maybe the turnover might be next couple of days, weeks, or even months. Also, some of you have financial obligations to some institutions, right, such as loans. I suggest that if you're having difficulties paying back, you go and meet these institutions and tell them that, okay, look, we're struggling. How do we renegotiate so that I'm able to pay a certain amount as opposed to what I used to pay? Now, these processes or these discussions will help you tailor your costs down. And then even if it's some things that you can get on credit as well, you might look into those areas and say, okay, you know what, this product, you can get them on credit and pay over a period of time. An area that not many people like to talk about is the area of salaries and wages in terms of pay cuts. Now, if you've done every other thing to find ways to boost your cash flow and it's proving difficult, you might look towards the area of salaries and wages. Now, you as a business owner, you have to have a frank and open discussion with your employees about it. You need to tell them that, look, based on what we're spending now on salaries and wages, we might not last the next 3 months. However, even if we take a 25% cut, we might live to see the next 6 months. Discuss with them. And don't forget that pay cuts should start with you as the business owner. Do not think that, oh, it's only for them while you keep receiving your salaries.
Wise words, they go to women on this occasion when I can have one message to send. It is to women, and it is for all women to support each other always, because that is the way we can really do something to promote gender equality and to promote each other as women in the world. Minun viestini menee ennen kaikkea naisille, ja se on seuraava. Naiset, muistakaa aina tukea toisianne. Sillä tavalla me edistetään tasa-arvoa ja toistemme asemaa tässä maailmassa. Ja kun sinä edistät toisen naisen edistystä ja asemaa, niin hän seuraavassa käänteessä tukee sinua.
Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate the fact that you made out time to watch. Thank you. Please, if you haven't already clicked on the subscribe button, please do. You will be supporting a sister's hard work. Please do. Before I go, I want to say that we have to indeed come to terms with the fact that times are really hard. The times have changed, but the good news is there is hope for an economic recovery. Things cannot remain the same. We refuse for them to remain the same. We will not be held hostage by this virus forever. What is commendable is our citizens are ready to continue working hard for this economic revival. Even though their businesses are not fully operational, our contributors' determination is highly inspirational, and I do hope their perception has empowered you to a really large extent. Remember, we have to collaborate to fight this pandemic. Till I come your way some all the time, I remain safe and smart. Stay safe and be kind.